What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of CarpFishing.Tips. This weekend we were at 50 Rand Dam in Alberton and our rods were marked out as above. It was a really nice day. The sun was shining, wind wasn't too bad, and the fish were making some noise, but they weren't making noise in front of us. For some reason, from where our rods are to the left of where our rods were, as you can see in the fourth picture, these fish were jumping up and down, making a whole bunch of noise, and yet they weren't coming anywhere near any of our bait. And unfortunately, we couldn't cast in that direction because there's a electric fence in the way, and we didn't quite feel like breaking an electric fence, getting electrocuted, or getting terminal tackle stuck on an electric fence. This is the weather we're working with and the fish forecast. As you can see, the wind died down by the afternoon, so at least we weren't dealing with howling winds again like we have been for the last 2 weeks. So this is our fishing post for the afternoon. Directly ahead of exactly where this camera is looking, the fish were jumping in that area the whole day, and I couldn't figure out how to get there. There was another angler to my right, so I couldn't move further down the bank to try and cast that way. But they were in such a weird position, and they kept showing and kept showing and kept showing. When I spoke to the other angler next door, he was also saying the whole day the fish have been showing, but they just won't bite on any bait at all. So the whole day we were basically just staring at our rods, watching the water and the wind and listening to the willows. Still, can't really complain when you've got a view like that. Absolutely not a care in the world. So here's the interesting bit, is that the whole day we had very little action on the rods. Sometimes the line would go slack, or something like that. But the moment we started packing up at around 5:30, 6 o'clock, all the fish went crazy within about 1 meter to 2 meters from the bank. Literally ballistic. What I'd seen the whole day was nothing in comparison to what happened. And in fact, I even threw a rod that way with a little bit of ground. I mean, it had some ground baits still left in it and a few hook baits. I threw it in that direction and it got pecked at quite a bit, but just no takes. So I don't know. The fish are either very finicky or they just know when we're there and when we're leaving, and boy do they come out when we're leaving. Jeepers. So since we didn't catch any fish this week, I decided to show you guys the evolution of the RodPod. You guys might have seen in another video we had the RodPod pre-alpha. Well, now we have the RodPod. Shall we call this alpha or beta? I don't know. But this is it, fully loaded. It has all my tackle, pretty much. The only thing that's missing from this is my rods, and it still has a telescopic rod in there, and my unhooking mat. Otherwise, it's got my bass gear, it's got all my carp gear, it's got a net, it's got the rod, the bank rods, the bank rods. It's got the tripod rod stand as well that you've seen in the video. It has all of that stuff in there. It's pretty awesome. It's coming along. It's pretty awesome. It's coming along quite nicely. I'm not sure if we're going to do anything else to it, if we're going to make it a little bit thinner. The first one I made was a bit thin, so I decided to go a bit wider. Now I feel like it's a bit too wide, or it's not wide enough, because obviously the stuff in the cavity of the RodPod tends to move around and shift and fall over. nothing pops open, but I think also the circular containers are not the greatest thing for a square tackle organizer. I'm toying all around with getting square buckets instead of round buckets. I do like the round buckets because it gives you the corners free. So although your buckets don't fit together nicely in the square, they do give you the corners free, so you can stick bank rods, or you can stick a telescopic rod in there, or just any old thing. And basically it just maximizes space, which is always a great idea. And as you can see, it fits into the back of my car. It's a normal sedan, a Kia Cerato. Fits into the boot pretty much perfectly, even though it's quite a wide stance, quite a wide tackle organizer. I mean, it's probably about, I think the measurement is 27 to 30 centimeters wide, maybe even 35. So it is quite wide, and it's about 25 centimeters deep, or length and breadth, and it's about a meter tall, maybe a meter two, somewhere around there. So here you can see it in the car. You got to take the wheels off. The wheels just don't they don't allow it to fit into the car perfectly, but take the wheels off, put it in the car, take it out, put the wheels back on, and off you go. And then here you can see our rod organizer. It's working pretty well for us. It keeps everything pretty neat and tidy. We don't have any rods going awry since we've put this together. And also the rope that's on it is actually like this. It's just some rope that we've put I think it's a uni knot. So we've put a uni knot in the top and a uni knot in the bottom, and just so that you can open it, you can take the rope off if you need to. The really nice thing with that is that you can actually take the rope off, tie the rods to a pole or something, and put the rope back over. That way at least you can attach them to something, worst case scenario. And plus, you never know when you'll need some rope. Trust me, if you've ever had a tent land up in the water, some rope would have been nice then. And then the unhooking mat that I've got is a jackal. It's quite a large one. It's probably about 1 meter across by 1/2 meter. Why can I not think of this? It's 1/2 meter width by 1 meter breadth. Length and breadth. So it folds into quarters, and then I've just got a carabiner that I've put through it's got like these little plastic holder thingamabobs. Put it through that, attach the carabiner to the fencing that I've used, this plastic fence that I've used on the side of the RodPod, and there you go. Bob's your uncle. I don't actually have an Uncle Bob, but nonetheless, he's your uncle. Crack myself up. Well, that's it, guys. So, another blank week. This is the second blank week we've had. We really need to start sharpening up our skills. As far as I can tell, we've got some plans for this week's fishing session. We're planning to lay down some ground bait when we arrive, and see what happens there. It's a mix of bran. It's bran. Is it chick mix? Anyway, some is either chick mix or similar. And possibly we went and found in the baking aids aisle banana essence, almond essence, strawberry essence, pineapple essence. Is it essence or flavors? Anyway, whatever it is, it's one of those things. So we're going to take those, put them in the ground bait, and see if it does anything. If it gives us a bit of an advantage, it should be interesting to see. I'm looking forward to it. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Stay tuned for the next episode, and as always, share with a carpy friend.